So, welcome into your daily Buckeye Blitz for Friday. It's a finally freaking Friday, June 21st, 2024. Hope everybody's doing well today. Hope you're having a good summer. Hope things are going for you well. This month is flying by, man. This summer is flying by. Boy. We're almost done with June and one more month and it's kickoff of fall camp. You got in the meantime, you got Big Ten media days, those are kind of lame and boring, but yeah, it's just a bridge to get us through to fall camp. You'll have the Big Ten network doing their media tour, where they hit each campus for practice during August. So you get a little taste here and there, and they won't give you anything useful, but we will on this show at least. So this is it. This is the last weekend of official visits. All this work, all this recruiting work that's been done leading up to this monster weekend. We're going to talk about it because there's not going to be much recruiting coming after this. We will have some breaking booms. Sounds like we might get one this afternoon. And I think we'll probably get a couple coming out of the weekend. So I would say 2 to 3, possibly max of 4. And then you got some guys that'll commit before the 4th of July. So let's get at it. Booms are coming. So brace yourselves. It's been a wild month for the Ohio State staff. And the end is near. After the weekend, the Buckeyes coaching staff goes on vacation. So come Sunday night, gone. All the coaches are gone, out of town, just for like a week or two, and then they're back at it. But there's one more huge recruiting weekend left for Ryan Day and the Buckeye staff. So this weekend should lead to multiple booms for the class of 2025. So we're going to talk about each one of them. Let's start off with our leaders, our class leaders, current commits. Tavian St. Clair, he's committed over a year ago, June 21st, exactly to the date. Happy anniversary, Tavian. 6'4", 228. We know the measurables, belt fountain, all the stuff. Should be winning the Elite 11 today and then getting on a plane and coming to Columbus. He should be in town tomorrow. The National Hawks in recruiting have finally got to see Tavian St. Clair. We've been on the Tavian train for close to 2 years now. So he's heading directly from Los Angeles in the Elite 11 finals. St. Clair had the chance to work with top receiver targets like Vernell Three Sticks, Vernell Brown III, and Jamie French out at the Elite 11. Somebody has to catch those sweet passes. And so his recruitment, what's so unique about Tavian is his recruitment for a 5-star quarterback has been like the least stressful ever. Have you ever heard of a 5-star quarterback that has been drama-free entirely? Yeah. He's special. So Tavian's coming in. Then you got Nate Roberts, current Buckeye commit out of Oklahoma. He'll be making his second trip to Columbus in the last 3 weeks. This time he'll be working as a recruiter. Roberts gave his approval for the Buckeyes to offer a second tight end in this 2025 class. So they need to bolster that room with guys leaving in the next year or two. So this weekend he'll be connecting with tight end Brody Lennon, in-state guy. I'll be getting to him in a minute. So Nate Roberts do a little recruiting on his own. And then again, they need to just for depth. Then you got Devin Sanchez and Team Sanchez making their way to Columbus again out of Houston, Texas. Devin and Team Sanchez have been the unquestioned class leader on the defensive side of the ball in this 2025 class since even before he committed, honestly. So this is his second visit to Columbus this month. The goal for Sanchez is to lock in the guys that will make this Buckeye class the country's #1 class in 2025. So more recruiting to do. He's going to work on Dorian Brew. They only live like 20 miles apart down in Texas, give or take. Then you got Naeem Offord, current Buckeye commit out of Birmingham, Alabama. Now, the Buckeyes need Offord if they want to hold on to that number one class ranking. They feel good about Offord, but his recent visits to Bama, Auburn, Oregon, it seems like he spent like an entire week on Bama's campus, mean that there will be conversations this weekend about where his recruitment is heading, right? So Offord has continued to say all the right things to Tim Walton and the Ohio State staff. And his official visit this weekend should provide some clarity about what we can expect between now and signing day in December. So we really want to solidify that and, get his commitment in blood. Not literally, that. Now, longtime targets on offense, Jordon Davison from Mater Dei, Santa Ana, California, the four-star top-ranked running back in the class. 3 months ago, it seemed like Davison was ready to commit to Ohio State, and it was a layup for the Buckeyes. But official visits to Bama, the Cheaters, and Oregon have given Davison a lot to think about. It's obvious he's not afraid to leave California, and he definitely wants to, but those schools are working hard to convince him that he should not go to Ohio State because the Buckeyes already have commitments from Bo Jackson and Isaiah West. Obviously, other schools are going to negatively recruit the Buckeyes for going, to a three-man running back class. So, and the Buckeyes have been more than clear. Davison is aware. This is not, state secret. This has been public knowledge that they're going to sign three running backs in this class. And Davison has not changed his plans. If he were concerned, maybe he wouldn't make the trip. So those commitments are not an issue to him at this point. A decision could come quickly after he wraps up this weekend's official visit. So look for Davison with the possible boom coming up here in the next few days. Then you got Brody Lennon, the tight end I mentioned earlier, out of Cleveland, Ohio, Gilmore Academy, 6'4", 220. He's a three-star. Yeah, they got him at on 24/7. The composite has him at 8'6", 7'8". He's in the top 941 tight end. So these things always change as these guys go through camps in the summer and stuff. And 24/7 still hasn't updated their rankings. They will now that camp season's about over. But expect everybody to get a boost that the Buckeyes have locked in. So Ohio State offered Lennon just a week ago, and he wasted no time. He wanted to set up his official visit immediately. Kind of had to because, like I said, it's a dead period starting Monday. So he visited Kentucky last weekend, and the Wildcats made a good push. Vince Marrow, their Ohio guy, does well recruiting Ohio, but the Buckeyes given him a green light, and Keenan Bailey doing his thing might be hard for Brody Lennon to turn down. If they're willing to take his commitment now, he could lock it in. So expect a decision in early July. I think you're going to see a ton of fireworks, not just on 4th of July, but leading up to that, especially for the Buckeyes. And ultimately, his choice may come down to his relationship with Nate Roberts. If they hit it off this weekend, which why wouldn't they? Then I would expect Lennon to be in the class. Now, it could commit a little sooner, but we'll see. Now, the big one, the big man, the headliner of this recruiting weekend, you could say, kind of, along with a couple of others, David Sanders Jr., not Davis Sanders Jr. I don't know who he is, but I'm sure he's a nice guy. He's out of Charlotte, North Carolina, the 5-star number one tackle. There's no bigger or more important visitor this weekend than the 5-star tackle, David Sanders. Buckeyes have been surging in his recruitment for months. Everything has led to this key weekend for the Buckeyes. We saw Jackson Lloyd commit to Alabama on Tuesday. No big surprise there. But Justin Fry has gone all in, pushed the chips to the middle of the table on David Sanders. Carter Lowe will be back in town as well. He'll spend the weekend with the Sanders family. So this feels like a make or break recruitment for Justin Fry. Maybe not in Ryan Day's eyes, but definitely in the fan base's eyes. We don't need to rehash that. But and not to mention, this is a huge piece for the class, the 2025 Ohio State recruiting class, So it's going to be an interesting one. I'm sure Monica Daniels, Paris Johnson's mom, will be on campus to meet with the family and stuff since they're coming in and they become pretty close. So she will be wearing the recruiter cap as well. Then you got Jake Cook out of Westerville North. Obviously grew up a Buckeye fan, almost in the shadow of the stadium. Day after decommitting from Louisville, Jake Cook announced that he'll make his official visit to Ohio State this weekend. He actually landed his Buckeye offer last Saturday night, but kept it under his hat. That's what the Buckeye staff wanted him to do. Then they wanted him to decommit, then announce his official, kind of, in chronological order. So got his offer last Saturday. It's the dream offer, right, for a guy in the Columbus area. So expect him to be fully locked in, fully committed to the class by the end of the weekend. So that's one of those boons that we're talking about. And he's another one of those guys that I don't live and die by the 24/7 rankings. He had a hell of a summer camp season. He was MVP of one of the rivals camps. And if you haven't seen some of his highlights, check it out, Google him or find him on YouTube. He did really well in the rivals camp. So he's a 3-star, 8.766, nationally ranked 616. He's an interior guy. He's going to move all around his high school offensive line his senior year. So, yeah, he is a center in the eyes of Justin Fry. So, need to bolster that interior O line, and he'll get to work on the recruiting trail for the Buckeyes as well. So, look for him to help out there. Now, defensive line, got some massive names here that we really need. One of them would be a flip from Auburn, Malik Autry, 6'6", 320 out of Alabama. The Buckeyes hosted Georgia defensive end Isaiah Gibson on Tuesday. He was committed to USC when he arrived, then decommitted after he arrived in Columbus. But I'm not sure it's because of the Buckeyes or not. The Buckeyes are hoping to do the same thing this weekend, though, with Malik Autry. It's going to be more difficult because of how close he lives to Auburn. Autry is one of the top defensive targets in the class of 2025 for the Buckeyes. He'll get the full court press, roll out the red carpet, the whole 9 yards from Larry Johnson and Alan Clark this weekend. Then you got Zion Grady, also from Alabama, from Enterprise, Alabama. Shout out Johnny C. Grady's a 6'4", 225 edge rusher, as opposed to Autry, who's one of your D tackles. Grady is another very important piece of what Larry Johnson and Alan Clark are trying to build on this defensive line. He's a former Alabama commit. Grady really was impressed with his first visit to Ohio State back in May. So Grady and Autry are friends. They're not necessarily a package deal, but they're friends, and that should be noted. The Buckeyes are the only school that could pull both of them out of the South, and you got to give Alan Clark a little bit of an assist on that, maybe more than a little. Then you got a linebacker here, a verbal commit to Alabama, Jaden Harmon, 6'1", 205, more of an outside linebacker. The Buckeyes love Jaden Harmon. He doesn't get a lot of attention in the recruiting circles, but some of the Ohio State staff actually have him graded as the top linebacker in the country. He's extremely talented, seems locked into his Alabama commitment right now. There was some back and forth on whether he would take this official visit to Columbus this weekend, but the Buckeyes are going to get their final swing and try to flip him. Most of the Ohio State recruiting attention at linebacker has been on Riley Pettijohn from Texas, of course, but Harmon is one of the few recruits that could snatch that spot from Pettijohn if he wants to commit. So keep an eye out on him. Then another 5-star DB, Dorian Brew, passing me a mother-loving Brew, 6'2", 180 out of Conroe, Texas, nearby to the Sanchez family. Looking like a corner now, probably would play the slot. Helps that Jaden would be decommitted. So 6 months ago, Ohio State almost landed his commitment. He had his commitment graphics done, everything, but change in plans shook up his recruitment. Now, heading into this visit, things have kind of settled back down. Pieces have fallen back into place. Like I said, a corner spot opened up in the Buckeye recruiting class. So there's a wide open spot for a third corner in this class. The Buckeyes feel confident, just as they did back in January. USC's pushing hard. Plus, you got Texas and Oregon. Of course, they're in every recruitment that we're that are high level guys. He visited Texas on Tuesday and Wednesday of this week. So just coming off of that visit. Tim Walton, Matt Guerrieri, I pronounced the name right. All hands on deck. This is why Devin Sanchez, Naeem Offord are in town, and even Fahim Delane is coming into town to help seal the deal. So those are the big visitors coming in. I do want to mention this guy. This guy's a big surprise coming out of the camps this week and last week. His name is Bodpen Miller. He goes by BP Miller. I like that. I like initials, easier to pronounce and faster, more efficient. And I'm all about efficiency, right? So anyways, he came to Columbus for 2 workouts and earned his Buckeye offer. Now, should be noted, he is a 2025, so a late bloomer, and could be a late addition to this class. He's 6'4", 180, plays quarterback at Ontario High School in Mansfield. So a nearby kid, again, close to Columbus. He just to run through his some of his quotes and stuff. So he was at a Buckeye camp last week. He turned in a performance that really impressed Brian Hartline, and then he just converted to wide receiver from quarterback 4 months ago. So very early, like a baby deer at the wide receiver position. He's camped at other schools to help get experience and hone his craft. He looked really good for a converted quarterback this last week at camp. He won the majority of his one-on-one reps in competition drills, and he showed potential to be a game-changing receiver at the college level. Hartline Ohio State wanted another look at Miller, so he came back to Columbus this past Tuesday to compete in the 7-on-7 tournament. He played for the house team. Miller continued to impress throughout the day. He showed off his speed for Hartline and the Ohio State staff in the 40-yard dash. Last summer, Miller said he ran between a 4.6 and 4.7 40. On Tuesday, he was clocked at 4.44. Yeah, that's legit speed. Miller said, quote, BP, let's call him BP. BP said, quote, I've been working a lot over the summer and really got it down. My speed really takes the top off the defense. You have to worry about my length. Hell yeah. And long and short routes. I'm a two-way threat. Love it. So obviously Miller grew up a diehard Buckeye fan in Mansfield, no doubt about it. Shortly after his workout with Hartline, he received his offer, the dream offer from Ohio State. Miller said on Tuesday, quote, it definitely feels amazing. It's been a dream of mine since I grew up an Ohio State fan. It's just a dream come true. All glory to God. Ever since I picked up a football when I was 8 years old, I've been waiting to get this. So he'd get this. Miller said Hartline loved his abilities, his mindset. He can learn and pick up things quickly, and his ability to learn and adapt quickly. So if he eventually commits to Ohio State, he would play the X receiver, the outside, at 6'4", 180. I probably should have given you his measurements. Huh? I did say 6'4", 180, I think. He doesn't have a ranking on the composite. He's a 3-star, just the 24/7 rankings. And he's number 106 athlete, number 50 player in Ohio. But his development, he's a development project, kind of like an offensive lineman. It's going to take 2 years for him to see the field, maybe more. But that's going to happen when he gets on campus, works with Hardline. He says he'll likely still play quarterback for his high school team this senior year, but they're working on a few packages that'll get him reps as a receiver. This weekend, he is taking his official visit to Boston College. He already locked that in, and he wanted to keep his word, which is respectable. This is his first official visit he's taken this summer. He hasn't gone anywhere else. So he wants to make another visit to Ohio State. Not sure when that's going to happen since the dead period starts Monday. And that runs June 21st through July 21st. So maybe there's a chance he gets on campus in July. There's a short, brief 1-week quiet period, July 25th to the 31st. So recruits can visit with college coaches, but only on the college campuses. So then you got fall, of course. Kids can come in and visit, and they can be visited by coaches, pretty much open. But with the dead period starting on Monday, I would look for BP to get on campus in July for another visit, if not the fall. So that's all I got for you today. Hope you enjoyed that. And we'll get back to our regularly scheduled Ohio State talk. Kind of take a break from the recruiting. You will get your breaking booms when they happen. You may have to lump a few together if this weekend goes as planned. So I got for you today. Talk to you tomorrow. Go Bucks.